my God, that's too funny.
An oldie but a goodie, huh, Lyle?
It's nothing like bringing back great memories.
I edited I edited the new song in there, so hopefully we won't get a copy strike for that this time. So,
Oh my God, that was awesome. I loved it very much. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. How y'all doing? Glad to see you here. Hopefully you guys have had a great Christmas, spending it with people you love, and remembering the ones that aren't here with us. Definitely, right, Lyle?
That's right. Absolutely correct.
100%. We got 20 people watching us already, Lyle. I'm impressed.
Man. It's good to see everybody in here. I know that it's Christmas Day, but we never really slack off because of a holiday, because there's a lot of guys and gals that are sitting there after they've seen their family and had their dinner, and they're leaned back with a cold drink of whatever kind it might be, and waiting to watch somebody talk about fishing, which we may or may not tonight. Who knows?
Josh is telling me to play some other Christmas video. You know the one he's talking about?
I'm
afraid to click on the wrong one because I know better. It's kind of like why we don't. Let me see if
Josh will message you what he's talking about.
Maybe he will. I'm looking.
You know how my luck goes with that stuff.
I see one. I see one that I think it is, but I'm kind of afraid to click it. Josh, message me if it's the one with your name on it. I believe is what it is. It just says Josh's video.
It's saved as Josh's video.
Okay, you ready, Lyle? We're gonna let it rip.
Go ahead.
Lord help us. Here we go.
Okay, so once there was this old wrinkled jerk named Scrooge who was always like, bah, humbug. Even during Christmas, he was like, bah, humbug. So even when everybody was all happy and full of the Christmas spirit and like, Merry Christmas, he'd still be like, bah, humbug. So soon enough, the Ghost of Christmas Past shows up and is all like, ooh. Then the Ghost of Christmas Present shows up and is all like, ooh. And finally, the Ghost of Christmas Future shows up and is like,
hey, I'm the Ghost of Christmas Future. You're dead, Tiny Tim is dead in the future. Sorry.
So all these time-traveling ghosts make Scrooge realize that he's a jerk. And instead of being like, bah, humbug, he should be like, Merry Christmas! So he runs outside and he's like, Merry Christmas! And he sees his nephew and he's like, Merry Christmas! And he sees beggars, Merry Christmas! And dirty orphans, Merry Christmas! Finally, he goes to his assistant Cratchit's house and he's like, Bob, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to let you go. Just kidding. Merry Christmas! And Tiny Tim is like, God bless us, everyone. And everybody's like, aww. And the angels are like, aww. And that's pretty much the best Christmas story ever. The end.
Pretty damn funny.
That is pretty good. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. I'm in there like 5 different spots. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm trying to be a good sport, so we're all good.
And we got I don't know how many's in here. Let me check now. We got 26 now, so we're gaining every time. What do you say we welcome everybody into the show tonight, Mark?
I think that's a great idea.
You feel like doing
Yeah,
it?
I think I can do it. I've done it one time or two before.
All right.
And forgive me, folks, I'm still a little sick. Long story. All right, Bugman22. Bugman was live today for like 11 hours, keeping everybody that's alone on Christmas company. Good for you, Bugman. I also want to give out heartfelt condolences. He lost his father in the last week, so definitely keep Danny and his mom in your prayers 100%. So there's Creole Catfish, and I know he had a good Christmas over there at the Dufour house. Danny Stone Outdoors, how you doing, Danny? Hopefully you're feeling good. David Smith, how you doing, my friend? Greg Burgess, what's going on? There's our buddy Lance McCoo. How you doing, Lance? Look, lady, I seen him in Bugman Show. What's going on? Look, how you doing? There's Schmieder of the Cedars. What's up, buddy? There's my buddy John from sunny Florida. I think it was like 7. I'm guessing it was 70 degrees down there.
Oh, wow.
There's Josh over at the Weekend Angler. How you doing, Josh? And there's Wabash Nate. What's going on, everybody? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, I guess, is coming up, right, Lyle?
It is. Next week.
Did you get anything good for Christmas, Lyle?
I had a good meal tonight.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about it.
My daughter came over. I was here. Cindy went to see her sister, and Heather come over this morning and fixed me some kind of a casserole for breakfast, which I usually don't eat casserole, but it was pretty damn good. And I ate some of that and sit back and started watching football games, and she went home to check on her kid and do the stuff that she needed to do at the house, and she took a nap. And, of course, I fell asleep on the second half of the Chiefs game, so I took a nap. Didn't get to see the part I really wanted to watch, but, it's okay. And when I woke up, she showed up and she come over and fixed me chicken fried rice, which is one of my favorite Chinese restaurant meals. So it was really good.
Doesn't sound too bad. I'm still sick. I've been sick for like 2 weeks, which I don't know if the folks in here know, but which is the reason why we didn't have the show last week, because we were both sick. You're finally feeling better, that's for sure.
I am feeling better. I still have a little bit of a cough, but it's not terrible bad. And I'm these cold tablets. I take the non-drowsy type. I don't take the nighttime cold stuff because I never wake up. I just sleep all the time. And I take the non-drowsy daytime stuff. And I'll sleep all night, get up, take the dog out, and I'll go back to sleep and sleep till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon with that. So that kind of medicine's done me that way my whole life. So I'm not taking it now. Hopefully I don't have to go back to it, but it does fix me eventually. But like I say, I really struggle with any kind of narcotics like that at all.
Yeah, I've been taking everything from Sudafed to Mucinex and Tylenol and all sorts of stuff for the past week. I'll be happy when this is done. I'm still a little sick, so like I said, forgive how I sound, folks. I don't mean to have it this way, but well, my dad's been kind of ill just recently, so I didn't want to go over there and get him sick. That's all he needs is another reason to put him into the hospital. So we kind of stayed home today. We had a ham and some homemade macaroni and cheese and some broccoli. It was pretty good. I did get this cool T-shirt that I showed you before the show.
I like it.
It's got a fishing reel on it, and it says "cranky" right below it, which pretty much sums me up sometimes. My wife says.
Thinking that would be perfect for a lot of us.
100%. There's PFG fishing in the house. Other than that, we just kind of laid low. My sister's on her way over here, so if you guys hear the dogs go crazy, that's her dropping off some leftovers from my mom's house. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
I bet you are. You know what? One of my favorite things about the holidays is, and this sounds crazy, Mark, but most holidays people fix a turkey one way or another. Most holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a chicken eater, so I don't really care that much for chicken, which means I don't care that much for turkey either, but I will eat it. But when you're done, you have the leftovers, and turkey noodle soup is some of the best stuff ever invented. It just really is. So that's something I always look forward to at the end of holiday stuff. So
I always look forward to ham and bean soup after any of the holidays. That's a good one.
That yesterday.
That's one of my favorite. That might not be a favorite of somebody who's living with me or spending any time with me after I eat it.
That's their problem, buddy.
That's their problem, 100%. So that's what I got to look forward to here in the other week. Let's say hello to a couple of people that came in. I see. Oh, what did Josh say?
He knows I ain't watching that.
Taylor, who never heard of him? RFG Fishing, how you doing? I also saw Rhonda come in. What's going on, Rhonda? She says, Merry Christmas, y'all. Hope everyone had a blessed day and is doing well. Rhonda, I finished off the rest of the hot sauce you gave me today. So
sweet.
That was good stuff. There's Mike Sampy. What's going on, Mike? How you doing? There's Dan Thompson, channel supporter. What's going on, Dan? How you doing, my friend? Mm-hmm. Other than that, I kind of laid low today. Other than that, I got a knife sharpener for Christmas and for my birthday, which I was sick for last week.
Right.
I got another jig mold, so I'm looking forward to making a bunch more jigs with that. So I've been blessed with those things, and I'm really happy.
Care to let us know what kind of mold it was?
It was that she gave it to me early. She had me actually pick it out. It was the micro jigs, the 1/64th ounce ball head ones. But I just gotten I sent a bunch. Tom won them, so I sent him about I think like 20 of those, and I used number 10 hooks because that's the recommended hook that was recommended with the mold. So I like those, but they're kind of small. So I bought some number 8s. I've been meaning to get out in the garage. They're the same diameter wire, so they should work in the mold.
You might be able to use number 6s in that too.
Well, I couldn't find any number 6s that were the same diameter wire, because how picky some of those molds are. So if you can't get it closed, you're going to have a mess when you go to pour it anyway.
I will tell you a little secret. Greg Burgess says he finally got the shots in his back and it helped a lot. I'm telling you, you get the right guy doing that, it is a wonderful thing. You get the wrong guy, well, it's the wrong guy. But I'm glad that you're doing better, Greg. But I have a mini die grinder. It runs off of compressed air, of course. Has a long cord on it, and I have the little bitty die grinding stuff for polishing heads,
Mm-hmm.
which I used to do a whole bunch of. I take that and modify my molds sometimes if they don't do exactly what I want, or if you get one that the wire's too tight or the bend's wrong in it, doesn't fit the right kind of hook. I don't mind if I mess one up, buy another one because I'm going to get it like I want it, or I ain't going to have it. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I have got mine. I use hooks that's actually not supposed to be used in them, but it works good on all of them now. So it is easy to modify a few of those. And have I messed a few of them up? Well, yeah.
I was thinking about, because I got the production one that's for 10 jigs at it, pouring 10 jigs at a time. So I figured I would try, like you were saying, so I could get number 6 hooks in there, maybe even number 4s. But I figured I'd start with one and see how it goes. I figure I'd get 10 shots at it before I got into big trouble.
I am convinced, Mark, that them production molds where you have 7 cavities for the same size is what I want. Now, you can't get them with everything, but I think if, say, you want a pillhead jig and they don't make that in the production mold style,
Mm-hmm.
I think you could get a hold to do it, and they would make it like that for you for an extra fee.
In Fat Guys Fishing, they make a lot of production molds like that. You're going to pay for them. I think they start anywhere from like $140 to like $210, depending on what you get, which is kind of pricey. But if you need to pour 7 to 10 jigs at a time, it saves you a lot of time.
I'm thinking if I buy something that they don't make a production mold like that for, that's what I'll do when I buy the next one, just simply because a lot of times I don't need the assortment. I just need 1, maybe 2 sizes. So would much rather just buy the production molds and call it a day.
Now, I will give you a tip that I learned the hard way. Like when I ordered from them, I ordered 16th ounce freestyle, the FS ones, which are the ones I sent you. And I ordered 132nd in the same ones. And each one of those molds I bought double-sided. So I could do 14 at a time. But I'll tell you one thing, if you're putting hook keepers in them, you're not pouring 14. I'd have been better off if I'd have gotten half 132nd and half 116th. I'd have saved half the money and I could have bought a different mold altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. I wondered how that'd work because it doesn't seem to me that however you turn it, you'd one of them at least to get out of there. And for the guys that are pouring their own stuff and having trouble with the closing, there's a distinct noise it makes when you close it up. And if there's any other noise that comes out of that, you might as well just open it on up because hooks are going to fall out. It's not going to work, but there's a distinct clack when that mold closes that you know it's right. And if you hold it tight, you won't get much flashing. And if it's sprung or something, say you've bent it, sprung it to where it doesn't close correctly, you get a lot of flashing around the edges of that, just get you a C-clamp and put on it before you ever pour your lead.
You know, I noticed that if I lay the mold, if I don't get it, you can see if it's closed. You'll see a little gap in the mold.
Right.
Bigger than usual. I'll lay it flat on my bench and I'll just take like my fist and kind of like tap on it a little bit progressively harder. And every now and then you can get that hook or that keeper to pop into place and you're good to go. Yep. It happens maybe one every 4 times. But trust me, it's a lot better than having to open that up and having the hooks fall off and you're trying to figure out which one it is. You can kind of force it that way too.
Absolutely. I see that Double Hook Angling has made it in. How good to see you tonight, Dave. Jerry Parker, of course.
There's Guerrero Bagre. What's going on, Guerrero? How you doing? And I saw, was it Crappie Day Darren I saw pop in here too? I think so. What's going on, Darren? How you doing?
Catfish Lady. Lance McCoo guy. Glad to see all you folks in here on a Christmas night.
That being said, now the double-sided production molds, if I was not using the hook keepers, I think I might be able to get them to work if I'm just pouring, the ones with lead collars or the ones without collars. I think that might work. I haven't tried it. Your results may vary, but I think the hook keepers are what's complicating it enough to make it difficult. And, I had a talk with Dave on his show on Friday morning last week. I think it was, yeah. And he got a couple of molds with the hook keepers on them, and he was expressing the same kind of frustrations that I was going through. It's just time consuming, and
Right.
it's pretty, you got to be pretty meticulous because you're putting two little pieces of wire in that mold rather than just the hook. So,
well, when I sit down to pour jigs, I'm at it 3 or 4 hours. I'll pour 300 or 400, sometimes more at one sitting. Of course, I got a table that all that sets on, just a small table, and I set it outside the garage door because the smell gets in the house. If the wind's blowing, you don't have to do that because it'll kind of suck the smell out of the house. But I don't notice it, but Cindy does. So, I just set it there. I don't want to sit there and sort out 6 different sizes if I'm pouring jigs. I want to do at least 100 of each size that I do before I change over, or 100 of that style hook. And one of the molds that I really like is a 1/32 round ball head jig that I got from Dave at Double Hook Angling. I won it on a contest that he had or something. And it really, I can't tell you how many jigs I've poured in that thing. It's unbelievable amounts. And I have to thank him again for that, because I have all kinds of molds for doing catfish sinkers and stuff, but I didn't have any jig head molds. And that mold, when he gave it to me, and some hooks, that got me started in pouring my own jigs, because I was buying them all from what's the name over here in Bolivar, and Jason Brummel. And anybody that needs jigs, heads, hooks, Jason Brummel is the place.
Or just contact David over at Double Hook Angling. He's pushing them out pretty good too. So,
is he selling them too now?
He is selling them on the side.
Okay.
So make sure you look up David first. We don't want to. He's been
absolutely not. No, I didn't know he was selling them. But Jason Brummel's got an eBay tag of Jason Brummel tackle or jigs or something on eBay, and you can get stuff from him. And that's where I buy my powder paint, everything from Jason. So he's a really good dude. I've met him. Let's face it, Mark, the way the mail is, I can drive to Bolivar in 20 minutes and back in 20 minutes instead of waiting 14 days to get it 20 miles. The mail is backed up.
I order from Barlow's, and it takes them 3 days to get me stuff, so I really can't complain.
They're a big company too. That makes a difference.
I think are they in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, or are they in Missouri?
I think they got a couple places, don't they?
They deliver whenever I order from them, they come from Texas. It goes from Texas to Indianapolis to my house in 3 days. That's kind of impressive, to be honest.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. And another place you get a lot of molds and stuff is from Big Dave over Dave Ashby. I can't remember the name of his company now for whatever reason, but he's got tons of stuff out in North Carolina. He is one of the biggest do-it dealers there is.
I'm on hold until probably next fall before I buy any more molds. So,
well, I'm for a while, but Barlow's is in Texas. He's a frequent flyer. I like Barlow's. There's a whole bunch of different places that's come up that give really good service. Jan's Netcraft's another place I buy some stuff from, but they don't have quite the assortment that Barlow's got at all. I mean, they've got everything.
There's a couple of big places out there, but Barlow's seems to be the one I keep going back to. So
yeah, I've
even went over to Cabela's over here to go look around, and they have some stuff. A lot of it's fly fishing driven, but you can't beat what you can order online. You might have to order. It's not always a sure thing when you're ordering online. You and I have ordered multiple things multiple times just to get exactly what we want.
That's exactly right. And I'll order extra sometimes if one place has got it and everybody else is out.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually, on occasion, I've taken everything they had. You know, if I only wanted 2 and they had 6 of them and nobody else had them, I took them all. Hell, if I can't have them, nobody should get them.
We know how that works, Lyle.
He says he's got 20 plus moles. He uses 6 of them the most. That sounds right.
Yeah, he showed us the whole stack of molds that he has. You know, I have those barrelhead ones, which I kind of like, but I don't use those as often as I thought I would. I thought they'd be a little easier to get the eyes in them, and I was not correct on that because once I put the powder coat on them, it kind of closes up those eyes a little bit. But they're still pretty good. I still like to use them. I want to use them pulling jigs behind my boat one of these days and see how they pull. I think they might, with that lower center of gravity and that wider profile. I think they pull a little truer through the water. So there's only one way to find out.
How deep will you be pulling them?
Not deep at all. I usually, this is what I do a lot of times. If I'm fishing in the shallows, pulling baits like in the summer, or the spring or the fall, I'll actually go to, I'll use those big Walmart weighted cigar floats, the styrofoam ones, right? With the spring loads on them. Yep. And I'll put that bait 7 feet below that. And that'll act like a planer board almost. It'll keep my baits right over the weed line here where I pull them. So that works pretty good. I did that on that little local lake that I have here, the electric one, quite a bit, and it's proved to work pretty good, you know. And it's also a good, you know, visual sign. You see that float go off to the side or even go under on occasion. So things like that. I got one thing I did learn is my hookup ratio, because, you know, crappie have such delicate, soft paper mouths. They're not called paper mouths for nothing. Right. If I use I have a couple of 10-foot rods that have a softer tip on them, they'll take up the brunt of the hit and keep those jigs from ripping out of the fish a lot more. I've tried it with, like, you know, my ACC Crappie Stix, which are a stiffer rod at 7.5 feet. And I lose a lot of fish with those. I've yet to try it like with that rod that you made for me. The Krampus Kane, that 7.5 footer one. That one will probably work because it's a little softer tip. That'll be on my agenda to try. So I don't know. I've been watching a lot of stuff on how to do that. And a lot of the guys that are pulling baits behind the boats, they're pulling with their rods horizontal, but they got a 14-foot, a 13-foot, and a 10-foot rod on each side out the back. I'm not willing to make that kind of investment just yet.
No, I don't want to watch that many rods. 3 on all I want to do.
And I'm fishing for crappie in the north. I'm not fishing in the south where they're, you know, abundant in that. So abundant as it would, you know, justify those kind of purchases. So I'll stick with what I got. I'll have 3 rods out the back, and I'll use the ones that have been working for me. I'll do a lot of the stuff like Betty and Brandon showed me how to do. They use shorter rods, but they do use rods with little softer tips on them, which help for them 100%. So
Betty needs short stuff.
I think she's listening to. Betty's not feeling well either. I think she's got the same.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she's a nurse. She's got access to good medical care, I think.
Good medical care and everything that goes around.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
But we're glad she does what she does, because special people are nurses and doctors. That's just the way it is. We forgot something at the start of the show that we usually kind of go over. The weather situation. Do you have ice, Mark?
No, everything's about melted, Lyle. A couple of the ponds still got ice on it. Like right now, I'm checking the weather while I'm talking to you. It's a balmy 35 degrees here. It got up into the 40s today. It's been doing nothing but rain the last 2 days. Oh, wow. So the river's wide open. Some of the bigger lakes, they got like a puddle on top of the ice, which makes it very unsafe to be on. But I imagine by the end of this week, with the weather and what they're predicting, it's all going to be gone. I might even get out there and do some hold on a second, and do some open water fishing off the bank somewhere. I hope to, because I'm dying to go fishing.
Good. I talked to James Dockery, messaged him a while ago to find out about the ice situation where he's at, and all of the low water is frozen, and some of the others is not. So The only thing I can say about him having water he can't fish is, ha ha.
Well, this time of year, James goes and hits, or actually more in January, if I remember right. I know he goes after those trout that are on the stock ponds. He does that through the ice a lot, and he has a good time doing that. So
he also has Thomas Hill Lake, which is a generating lake. It's not real close to him, but it's not terribly far away. And most of the time, it's open, and if it's not open, at least half of it is because of the warm water discharge. And if he gets to hurting too bad, he can go get him a fix over there.
Hey, Lyle, you still got that box for the giveaways? Are we going to do a giveaway tonight?
I think we should.
I think so too. And you know what? To keep in the Christmas spirit, I think I'll give away a pack of 20 of those micro jigs as well. Folks, you just have to give me a little while to get better before I get them poured and painted for you and mailed out. But I promise you that as soon as I do, I'll get it done and sent it out to you. But we'll have that giveaway sometime during the show. So hang in.
Make sure to remember that everything that gets shipped through the post office, which is the only outlet I have, is at least a week behind, and maybe more. And the reason is they didn't hire the extra help to help these delivery people out this year. In Springfield and Kansas City, at least, and maybe more places than that. I know our mail drivers and UPS drivers around here, none of them's got helpers. They always do, but not this year.
Let's say hello and Merry Christmas to Mr. Duggar. What's going on, Mr. Duggar? How you doing? Long time no see. There's Dead Sea Pirates Fishing. Merry Christmas. Long time no see. I think I've seen him over on Bugman's channel too. So
I tuned into Bugman for a little bit this morning. Didn't bring myself to any. I didn't make any post or anything. I just listened for a while I was doing some other stuff. And the other day, it might have been him, was driving somewhere, and I watched a little bit of their stuff too.
Oh no, I mean better, David. I mean better as health wise. I don't think I could. I'm no artist. I do what I can, and they'll catch fish. That's all I promise. So
I have been painting a lot of jigs, and I can put 100 or a few more. Actually, I can get 12 on each rail of my, I don't know what you call that thing. It's the part that goes inside the little oven. And I do them at least 100 at a time. So I go out there and I'll pick out color. And that disco green that I got, Mark, that's really a cool.
You like that color, don't you?
I like that a lot, yeah. And I got
Did you get
brown.
the disco gold?
I already have it.
Okay, and the Disco Fire Tiger, I got
That's
that
the
one.
one. That's the one I got, the Disco Fire Tiger. I really like it.
Since you got those colors, I won't paint the ones I'm sending you. You can paint them when you get them.
Okay. I got some brown because I've been tying some crawdad looking jigs. Now I'm not having much success making them look quite like I wanted, but I wanted that jig or that color for that. And I like the color really well. It's more of a natural color than a lot of them are. And it's not that unnatural colors don't work, because they do very well. But there's just some things that I want a natural OD green or brown or black or something like that on. And again, that's another reason why some of them will be two-toned and some of them are not. But
any of those disco colors, if you pop them into the oven, they'll turn an ugly color. You got to be real careful with those.
Right.
I won't even put those in the oven. I'll just set the powder on the jigs over my heat gun and leave it at that. If I'm too worried about it, if it's like on a larger walleye jig, if I'm like my walleye jigs, I'm bouncing off the bottom. I'm drift them along in the rocks along the zebra mussel beds, stuff like that. I'll coat them with that UV cement to protect them rather than baking that finish on, because and I think Dave from Double Hook Angling says that disco gold turns into like turd brown if you bake it for too long. So.
I'm sure it does. Yeah. And another thing, if you get them too hot, they'll do that.
Yep, exactly. What's going on, Crappie Kev? How you doing? Danny Stone says, if you have a package go through St. Louis, it's going to be there a minimum of 3 days.
And just about everything goes to St. Louis. It's the big hub. It's bigger than Kansas City. So
There's 922 Crappie Barbecue. How you doing, my friend? What's going on? Dave says, I have a full-size oven in my shop, so I'm going to say, but if I could probably get 800 at a time.
oh wow.
I'm not interested in doing that many jigs in one
Yeah,
sitting.
I'm not either.
But yeah, I know David's doing it on production level. So
Yeah,
there's
he's doing a lot bigger part of it than we are. But the I like to keep some done up ahead. So, but one thing, if for people that are using those little toaster oven things like I got and you got, be sure to check the temperature on them with something that is accurate, because Josh and I think you and me and all of us talked about that one time. A lot of them, you set them at what would be 350 degrees and they're way low. Well, mine's the opposite. About that far from zero is 325 degrees. And so I just leave it there and don't ever change it, because if I move it up past that, it burns them, even at 15 minutes. So I don't take it up past that. I know that it's going to be right around 325, 350 degrees, and that I just leave it right there, and 20 minutes, and I'm done.
There's a tip from David. He says the disco colors do great in an oven as long as you keep it at 300 or below. Good tip.
Good tip right there. Absolutely is.
Going through here. Oh, look at that. Mr. Duggar gifted 1 Panfish Nation membership. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Postal Service is outsourcing to DHL. That's what's causing all the delays, is what Jeff says. And it looks like Duggar gifted that membership to Bugman. Congratulations, Bugman.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. So yeah, that's pretty much what was going on. I do like pouring those jigs. I can't wait to get back out into that garage and start doing that. It's kind of a zen thing for me, as silly as that sounds, but you get focused in on that. I'll watch a lot of the Duck Call Room, which is the Duck Dynasty guys podcast. I listen or watch that on my iPad while I'm out there, and before I know it, I'm 3 episodes deep and I got 200 to 300 jigs poured, ready to get painted. So I like to do that.
I find pouring jigs and painting jig heads very relaxing. I mean, you can go out there and do that and just forget about everything else and do them. And it, for the most part, it's something that you either need or want to do anyhow. So, but I was like reloading shells. I've got dies to reload everything in the world just about, and I reload them for myself and a lot of other people, and I make some custom stuff for my contender. And you have to fire form the brass on them and stuff. That's something else that's extremely relaxing. The only problem with the reloading stuff, it's got so expensive that you can't hardly afford to buy the stuff, but you damn sure can't afford ammo anymore. Thank you, Joe, for that. But that's just the way it is,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another sport that gets pretty pricey. Shooting, that's for sure.
It does.
And hunting, 100%. So David says pouring jigs is calming, but it does get boring. So sometimes you need some entertainment. I always listen to something out there. So
yeah.
And look at it. David says, I need money, so that's why I pour jigs.
If you got access to the lid, that's the deal. And I have a bunch stored up, but I don't have, just ungodly amounts. I know a guy that does have. He don't even use it, but that's not here nor there. I took him away from his house one day. He might not have so much.
There you go. I heard you got a whole big supply of it. I got enough. I think I got about 300 pounds, which is a lot of 1/16th ounce jigs left.
It is. It's a ton. But when you go to making, I'd have a mold for up to 20 or 24 ounce. I think 24 ounce for bank sinker molds for fishing the big rivers. I know I got 20s, I got 16s and 12s, and when you pull them like that, you go through quite a bit.
when you're pouring big weights. There's Ruben Flores Jigs. Welcome to the channel, Ruben. How
Hey,
you doing?
Ruben, nice to have you in here with us.
I see him on TikTok once in a while. What's going on, bud?
Absolutely glad to have you. EFG Fishing. I have a friend who is a postmaster, posted a few days ago that you should stop tracking your packages. It's in God's hands now.
No lie, right? No lie there. Definitely.
That's for sure. Hey, there's our buddy Chadwick.
What's
Merry
up,
Christmas,
Chad? Merry
Chad.
Christmas, buddy.
Dave says he's got about 600 pounds of lead. I don't know how much I've got, but I've got a bunch made into muffin tin ingots, and then I've got a bunch that are just in 5-gallon buckets, and they're pretty tough to move around. That's why I have 2-wheel dollies.
You know, I bought, I think, 60 pounds of lead off of someone on Facebook Marketplace, and then a buddy of mine who's in the construction business said I was dumb that he would drop me some off, and the next thing I know, there was 250 pounds sitting in front of my garage one day.
Oh man, what a deal!
The good stuff, the plumber stuff, Lyle.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And Jerry Parker gave me some too. Jerry Parker gave me some some lead flashing back in the day. He probably got me started. So
that's awesome, man. Anytime or any place you can get that stuff is awesome.
Hey, look at, there's another person that's new to the show. Living Life Daily with Jay. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Glad to have you in here.
Appreciate you. Looks like we got a good crowd here for Christmas, Lyle. It makes me happy to see everybody here. Hopefully we're keeping them company. Hopefully everybody had that great Christmas. So I'm definitely going to go out. I don't know what I'm probably going to hit some docks that I shouldn't be fishing off of. That's all I'm going to say here on the river. Either that or a couple of spots I'm going to go out and do a little walleye fishing. But other than that, we'll see how we get, if we can do that. If the weather holds up till this weekend and I am feeling better, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I've been dying to get back out there.
I understand, man. It's been mist and rain here all day, and it's foggy now. So, I really don't know what to expect the next few days. You can't believe the weather guys. They got the only job in the world to be wrong every day and still get a check on Friday.
You know, I don't even need to look at the weather because I let them dogs back in the house and I can tell how bad it is or how warm it is outside by how high the mud is on their paws.
Oh, yeah.
If it's up to their elbows, it's pretty darn warm out there.
There's Chrissy Brown. Welcome, Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy. Merry Christmas, dear.
But, yeah, you're right about that. And of course, we have that little dachshund of Cindy's, and it's kind of a prissy little thing. If you know what I mean. She don't want to get her feet wet. She don't want to get them muddy. She don't want them this and she don't want them that. But she still has to go to the bathroom. So, and Gidget, it doesn't matter. If there's a puddle of water, she's in it. So.
You know what? It's funny you mention it because I can't understand my dogs, the two French bulldogs I have. If it's raining, they won't go out there. But if it's not raining to go out there, they'll go running into the mud. They'll do belly flops into the mud if they have to. I don't understand.
Belly flops for a minute.
Yeah, Betty flop, Betty. Belly. I'm going to get a nasty text from here in a minute.
Oh, man.
There's Missy Kennedy. What's going on, Missy? How you doing, dear?
Good to see her in here.
So that's the plan. Lyle, you going to get out and do a little fishing maybe this weekend now that you're feeling better?
Yeah, I'm going to try to go out for a day or two and see what I can muster up.
Let me ask your opinion on this. What's your opinion on fly fishing in cold water like we're having now?
Yeah, as long as the water's not frozen, it's good.
It'll work?
Yeah, absolutely will.
As long as it's a fly that sinks rather than one that stays on top, right?
Yeah. You don't want – I'm not sure you can't catch bluegill on top of it this time.
No, I haven't tried.
I'm not sure you can, but I know somebody's getting ready to try it.
That you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll be taking 2 fly rods or 3 with me when I go. And there's nothing much more exciting than a topwater hit. And bluegill hit hard. They fight hard on a fly rod. They're just amazing fun. And I'll be trying that. But here's what I do, Mark. I take a tie me on a stinger about this long, 10, 12 inches, and let it sink below the top water part. Then you got the best of both worlds. Just tie it right onto the hook, and that won't stop. If they hit the top one, it won't stop them from hooking them. And if they're hitting the bottom one, the top one would work as a tractor that way. And then if they want it, they can have it. And if they want the bottom one, they can have it. And I'm not sure. I haven't done this yet, but you and I have talked about crappie nibbles a number of different times.
Mm-hmm.
My success with them is not very good, really. I don't know that they make any difference or not, but I'm thinking this time of the year on that bottom hook, that might be a good idea.
Give them a shot.
At least worth a try.
I always use them just for scent on whatever jigs. I add them to whatever's out there. I don't use them solely for bait. I mean, they'd probably work, and they'll probably work with a lot smaller bluegill and stuff as well. But I think they're, if you're pulling crappie jig through the water, they leave a little scent trail as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I also think they're good because they're a great indicator. If I think I get a hit and the crappie nibble's still there, that means I snagged a weed. I hit a weed. If the crappie nibble ain't there, that pretty much means that a fish hit it. So I use them for that reason too. But like I said, I've been using that smelly jelly type scents and stuff lately, which I like a little better because I'm not having to keep reloading those hooks. It's kind of a pain. I mean, if I wasn't so lazy, I'd probably use minnows. I really hate putting minnows on the hook time after time after time. So
I don't mind putting them on. I just hate to buy them.
Yeah, that too. Here they're 3 dozen for like almost $14, I think.
Oh my God, that's just ridiculous.
What's going on
here? Hey, Ryan.
Ryan over at Sutton Hooks and Crossing Eyes. Hopefully you had a great Christmas with your family, bud. Let's see what Lance over here says. Lance says, this weather is insane. Got too cold, too quick, froze up my burbot spot. Hopefully this warm front will open it up again. I think it might. We're supposed to have warm weather for a couple days down here, and I think yours is pretty close to ours, Lance. So hopefully that'll open it up and you can get out there and chase them burbot because they are tasty as heck. That's for sure.
Yeah, someday I wouldn't mind catching one.
I didn't get a
chance them in Missouri, although I never knew it, but we do. I found out we do have some in Missouri. I'd have to look to see where, but
I'll usually go right up to Milwaukee. I got a tip actually from Ryan where they were at. They're right over by the lighthouse. I know him and his buddy were out there on a boat a couple years back, if I'm not mistaken. And I was just one night I got 2 in about an hour, and another night I got like 4 in about 3 hours. It was pretty good fish, and it's pretty simple stuff, just like a catfish rig, but you use cut bait or minnows or something like that. I know they use a lot of golden roaches up there. I think which is the same as a shiner. I could be small too, so
it's hard to say. I've noticed that different fish species have different names in different parts of the country, so and that's okay.
922 Crappie Barbecue says he's paying $2.99 a dozen for smalls, $3.99 for bass minnows.
That still sounds high. I ain't bought minnows in years.
And Ryan says, yeah, we tore them up that year and the next year. We went there and the wind tore us up. Yeah, on that big lake, you got to be careful of that wind.
Now, how far is that from you?
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Not terrible.
Not too bad. It's a decent 2 hours, maybe, give or take. But I take the back road, so because I got no expressways that go directly north, so I kind of have to wiggle my way up through there. But yeah, we were out on that pier where the lighthouse is, and it was like 20 degrees below zero. It tore us up pretty good.
Yeah, I bet.
It was cold. I've seen a lot of lake trout coming out of the off the piers here, like Navy Pier and 87th. I wanted to get out of I think it's Winthrop Harbor, right over by Soldier Field, and go do some perch fishing. But I took my lithium battery out of my boat, did a couple other things. That doesn't mean if this weather doesn't keep up and I don't get better, that I won't put that battery back in there and make the trip out there. I'd like to go and do that, and especially out in the boat. I've never been out there perch fishing in a boat. Hopefully I can use my electronics and actually find the big ones. When I'm on Navy Pier, you're fishing with a bunch of other people. You pick a spot, and you pretty much got to stay there for the most part.
Right.
it'd be nice to be able to, you know, find them and just keep moving or following the fish around. That would be pretty good to do.
Yep. That is for sure. I just find it really not a big guy who wants to go out and catch a bunch of weird kind of fish, or not weird, but strange, different to me kind of fish. But I do want to come up and catch salmon with you sometime. I think that's really good. That, or I'm going to have to make that trip to Alaska to see Jackie, my buddy, lives up there.
We can make it happen. You got a place to stay. We can be up where I fish for him easily in an hour and like 30 minutes every night. So that's no big deal. We'll get
That's
you
cool.
on something. So
I would love to catch them. I would like to go to Alaska and see Jackie and fish the Kenai River, or something about that really, really intrigues me. But man, that's a long way to go. And if I go, I want to drive so I can see all the stuff that I've never seen. And that just adds cost to it, because you can fly cheaper than you can drive there.
mm-hmm.
And all the spare tires you can haul.
Yeah, Ryan says he's an hour and a half for him.
That's not bad.
I think he just gets on 94, if I'm not mistaken, 294 to 94, and just goes straight up, which that's like a 90-mile-an-hour expressway. They don't joke around. They don't mess around on that 294. So
Josh says getting skunked on Navy Pier is the worst. Not only did you freeze and get skunked, you had to listen to Chicagolanders while doing it. I bet he was talking about the Cubs.
a lot of good people down there on the pier. You'd have a good time, Josh. 100%.
I would say that would be right. Yeah.
There's a lot of good people. I actually met Violet down there, another guy I fish with quite a bit, Robert. He's good people. Met a bunch of people, and none of them have ever been rude or morons. So I'm grateful to have that experience. So,
you know, we have a deal like that here. We have Bennett Springs National Park. It's got a huge spring, 1 million gallons a day of water comes out of this spring. It's amazing place, amazing sight to see, and it's a trout hatchery. They raise trout there and turn some loose there. Of course, they different places they send them to and all that, but it's a place that you fish, and when you go down there, especially opening week, you're elbow to elbow with just hundreds and hundreds of people, and some of them are dicks and some of them are really nice folks, and you just, if you're around the ones that are not, you just move away from them or make it rough on them. They get tired of it and they move. But you know, either way, there's always some good and bad wherever you go, a deal like that.
Yeah, it's opening day of trout around here is combat fishing, and it's totally a different crowd. There's always some brawls on there, but I've never seen anything like that down on Navy Pier. So
yeah, we don't need any of that.
Or 87th too. Ryan says they're getting a perch up in Milwaukee as well. He says Eric Hotke has been getting them up there. Eric's a big guide. He's got a YouTube channel here too. So if you fish the lakefront, you've probably seen or heard of him. I've seen him a couple of times when I'm up on the Root River fishing. See him making videos up there. Actually, he drove by when I was live streaming that one time when me and Jerry H were up there. So saw him up there that day, if I remember correctly.
You know, the perch that you're talking about, again, they're in Missouri. There's some places up by James that's got them, and I understand that Table Rock Lake has them, which I used to fish Table Rock a lot years and years and years ago. I haven't been down there in probably 25 years or more. But yeah, I guess that they've got them in there according to what the conservation department says. But you never hear of anybody, or I never hear of anybody catching them. So who knows?
You know, I've seen some pictures of perch being caught out of Lake Erie this week on Facebook. And there's some big slobs up there, like 14 to 16 inches. I've seen pictures of it.
Wow, them are big ones.
Big ones. Lance says, I meet a lot of Russian guys from Chicago that burbot fish here on Sheboygan. Jerry Parker just confirmed what I was saying. He says opening day of trout season is like Mortal Kombat style fishing.
It can be. I got a cool story about that. My brother-in-law, Tom, his dad was from Wisconsin, like a lumberjack. I mean, he's just a big old massive guy, about 6'3", and very fit even in his old age. He didn't put up crap out of nobody. anyhow, we was down there fishing one day, and every time Earl would make a cast, somebody tangled his line up and have to break it off. So he waited till a bunch of them cast. He cast over top of it with it and jerked it and got there and took a cigarette and burned all their lines off and picked up another rod and went to fishing. Nobody said a word to him. It was the funniest thing you ever seen. I remember that like it happened yesterday. That got been 40 years ago.
I see videos like that all the time on these reels and stuff, and I've had a couple of run-ins like that, but for the most part, it isn't too bad. But when it happens, it happens. It can get pretty ugly pretty quick.
You get somebody that gets every time they throw out, they get tangled. Pretty soon there's enough of it. But we was fishing down there one time, and Tony was a baby, my oldest son, just big enough to stand up and see the truck, and he honked the horn right before they blow the whistle to fish. Everybody was casting out there, and they seen it, the horn, reel it back in and try to keep from getting caught. That's pretty funny too.
What do you say we let these people start entering in on this giveaway, Lyle?
Let's do it, buddy.
All right, let me get the screen up there. I figured I'd pick a phrase that was season specific. Just enter Merry Christmas and you'll be entered in to win. We're going to give away the 20 micro jigs that I'm going to pour for you as soon as I get over this cold, hopefully earlier part of this weekend or next week. And Lyle's got something from his giveaway box. He just got to enter in once, and we'll do 2 drawings from there as the night goes on. So make sure you enter in Merry Christmas. I did spell it right. Yeah, I got to do it. There we go. Lance got in there. So Danny Stone. Good deal. So did Missy Kennedy. So, and if you want those, if like Missy might want to tie some things with those, Missy, if you want them painted or unpainted, whoever wins them, just let me know and we can make sure we get them taken care of for you.
Here's a sample, Mark.
Oh, let me see. Oh, look at that. Let me give you a solo layout here real quick. There we go. Oh, look at that bag of giveaways. That's what Lyle's going to be giving away.
So these go to Betty Jean.
Oh, those are for Betty Jean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't sent them to her yet. But that's what you get. You know, we say a pack is how many ever I pick up out of there. But if it don't fill the bag up, I go ahead and put some more. You know, I want everybody to be happy.
There's Mean Jean Squad. What's going on? Look, lady in the house. Nubby's catfishing. What's going on? Gene Smith, how are you doing? We're getting some entries here. We'll make sure there's Mr. Tully 41. How you doing, Mr. Tully? How do I sound, Lyle? My voice seems to. How do I sound, Lyle? My voice seems like it's fading all of a sudden.
Well, he's still about the same here, but
okay.
There's 2 stands.
Stan, see, I think Stan might even have gotten entered by us. So just wishing us a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Stan. Glad to see you in here. Mean Jean Squad. That's a new one to me. Welcome. Glad to see everybody in here on a Christmas day.
Slow it down a little bit. We got 42 people watching. We got 25 people entered. If you want to get entered, all you got to do is type in Merry Christmas in the chat. You'll be automatically entered to win one of the 2 prizes. And you email me or Lyle, depending on which one you win. Hey, Shirley T, how you doing? Merry Christmas. Let us know what you want. Buggy already got some coming from me. Don't worry about it, bud. Oh, back to your wanting to fish in Alaska. Yeah, if we go on, you know, I'd been on that cruise the week before my birthday. I didn't say much about it because we weren't here that week, that Wednesday afterwards, because we were both ill. We took that night off. But the wife said she'd like to go up to Alaska on the next one if we go on another one. So not that I'll have any time to do anything while we're there, but it'd be nice to see everything up there. That's for sure.
My cousin Gene and his wife, Gene's now gone, but they went on an Alaska cruise several years ago, and he said it was just amazing.
Yeah, Lyle's doing a giveaway for some stuff too. You might still win Lyle's stuff, Buggy.
Absolutely.
All right, Lyle, what do you say we do the first giveaway here for the 20 micro jigs that I'm going to hand pour for whoever wins? You ready?
Yeah.
27 people entered. Now after this one, we're just going to draw again after a few minutes for Lyle's prize, but this is for the micro jigs that I'll send to you. Dan Thompson. Dan, you got my email address, and I believe I still have your address, bud. Please email me at mark@catfishandcrappie.com with your shipping address, bud, and I will get those to you as soon as I get them poured. So congratulations and Merry Christmas. If you haven't got entered, just type in Merry Christmas again, and you'll be entered for Lyle's prize pack, and we're going to do that here in just a minute. But I will leave this. Well, let me take this down from there so people can see us. It's the same thing, just like KY Catfish Chris. Welcome to the show. Entered in there. Merry Christmas, and you'll be entered. We'll do that right before the end of the show. There's Dan. Dan's good people.
Absolutely.
He's been following us for a long time. He's been a channel supporter too for a long time.
Yes, sir. Glad to have him as part of what we do.
So that's the plan for the week. You got any plans for New Year's? Well, I know our show falls on New Year's Day. We're going to have to talk about what we're going to do if we're going to do anything. I think we'll probably have a show depending on.
We'll have to determine that between now and then. But we missed one show in 3.5 years or something like that. So we're pretty well settled in.
We usually it's very seldom that you and I both take the night off. We usually have somebody cover like James.
Right.
I had a couple of people cover for you, I think, throughout the times. You have to forgive me. I forgot who that was.
Well, last week we was both sick, and that's just kind of how it works.
Yep, 100%.
But it does happen, you just deal with it and go on. But
we could have given the keys to Chad and Josh, but we know better.
We do know better.
Yeah. We do know better. All right, Lyle, what do you say we do the second drawing here, bud?
Let her rip.
All right, here we go. This is for Lyle's gift pack. There you go. Let's see who wins. We need a drum roll effect is what we need.
Do.
Wabash Nate. Congratulations, Nate. Send Lyle your shipping information at Catfish Weekly TV, all one word, at gmail.com.
Yes, sir. Or message me on Facebook. Either way.
That too, 100%.
Whatever floats your boat. And it's been a great year, Mark.
It has been. It's been an honor to be on here with you every week. It's been a good time. We've had a lot of good conversations. I know that you and I have talked about some changes we might make in the next coming up year, so people are going to want to stay tuned for that 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm looking for some of the stuff we talked to, but we're definitely going to keep going because we just like to do this because we have fun. So
that's the only reason we do this. We have a good time doing it.
That and the millions of dollars that it brings in. That's
boy.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I appreciate you being here with me every week, and we do have a great time. We get along well, and as long as people watch us, I guess we'll keep doing it for a while.
100%. So,
but yeah, stay tuned for first of the year coming up. It's we got to decide what, when, how, and what we're going to do. But there's some things coming up you guys are going to enjoy.
Think you're gonna like it.
Yep.
All right, Lyle. We were gonna do Lyle and things that Lyle and Mark like, but we're not gonna do that this week. We're gonna do that. I think this is what I would have showed off. I'd have showed off my cranky T-shirt I got for Christmas because it's fitting. Lyle's looking over his desk. What do I got? What do I got?
Nothing.
We'll get it on the next show.
You know what I like?
What do you like? There we go. Cheetos.
Jalapeno flavored Cheetos.
Hey, there's Joe Buck. He's channel supporter. What's going on, Joe Buck? Merry Christmas. That being said, Lyle, what do you say we just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and send them on their way?
Let's do it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. God bless everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next year.